Hey, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Tyshawn, aka coldlabz on social media. In the last video we talked about building a tax calculator using functions. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get to see what you guys created, so let's go ahead and go step by step with me. See what I came up with. So the first thing I did was go to Google and type in tax bracket calculator 2021. And once I went to that, I scroll down a little bit right here, and then you see this link from taxbracket.org with a few numbers in the chart. After that, you go ahead and click on it. Once the page loads, you scroll down until you see that chart with the same numbers in it. The first thing I did was look at the numbers that says 10% and then the number right next to it. What this is saying is that if you stay under the number $9,950 a year, you only have to pay 10% on your taxes. So what do we do in order to make a calculator out of that number? Let's go to jsbin.com and let's get started. Okay, seeing that the website is loaded, let's go ahead and click our three tabs as usual. You know, the HTML tab, the CSS tab, so we can hide those two, and then let's click on the console tab so we can use it. Alright, so let's type function and tax cal, you know, that's short for tax calculator, and then in the inside of that, let's put wage. Now, in the inside of that function, we want to do new wage equals wage times 2080. So why are we using the number 2080? Long story short, the number 2080 represents 8 hours a day times 5 days a week times 52 months in a year. That's the typical amount Americans work. So you do that number, it's the same number if you just do it in the calculator. We're just skipping past all those steps. So now we want to see how we could go about getting our actual amount we make a year off. So let's go inside the function and let's type return new wage. Once we type new wage, let's go over to the console and let's type taxcal, TAXCAL, and then let's put our wage in there. Say we make $13 an hour and hit enter. So as you see, the actual amount you make a year pops up now by only entering the amount you make an hour. I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but when it comes to a function, you're not just limited to just one thing. It doesn't just have to say a wage in there. We can actually add more parameters that can go into the function. Let's use a random word for our secondary parameter. Let's just use the word dud. There we go. DUD. So now the second parameter is equal to dud. Okay, so let's go over to that function area. Let's go down a little bit. Let's type the word console.log and let's put tax calculator in there. And the reason I said do that is so we don't have to keep typing this over and over in the console section in the middle. So in there, let's put a random wage. Let's say you're making 17 hours this time, and you need a secondary parameter. The secondary parameter could be anything, so we're going to say George, George. George. You notice when it does console.log, only thing that pops up is the amount you make a year per hour. And the reason behind that is because dud is not even in use, but it's actually a function input that can be taken. So how do we put dud to use? We go back up to that function. Let's hit plus on new wage right there, and let's type dud. Okay, as you see, is one entire string itself. This is the actual amount you make a year, and George attached onto it. That's because we did a concatenation on the return statement. So let's go ahead and erase the word dud from the back of new wage. Okay, seeing that we erased the word dud from the back of new wage, let's do exactly what a tax calculator is supposed to do. Let's find out how we can go about seeing how much is going to be deducted from your paycheck from the taxes. Okay, you see the tab up there that says 2021 tax brackets. Let's click on that. After clicking on that, you see the area where it says 10%. It says rate, then it says for unmarried individuals up to 9,950. Let's copy that 9,000 number. We're going to use that. And remember, that says 10%. So if we want to find out how many dollars is going to be taken out a year based on the amount you make an hour, what you do is go back to where it says return new wage at and do times 0.10, because 0.10 is 10% if you remember your math. So when you look down there in the console, you notice that you're losing over $3,000 a month. So let's go ahead and completely erase the return statement, because we're going to replace that with an if-else statement. Let's make some space real quick for this. Let's type if new wage is less than, paste that number in, and then remove the comma. Return new wage minus new wage times 0.10. You notice when it said where it says undefined in console sections, because the tax calculator says that you make $19 an hour and you don't fall into the tax bracket of falling under $9,950. So we need to change that. Let's change 19 to 4 to verify that this works. Alright, so now you guys see there's a different number that populated, because now you make under the 9,000 that's been required to fall in the 10% tax bracket. So let's go to the 2021 tax bracket tab and stuff, and let's copy where it says 40,525. Let's go back to JSBin, and then let's do else if new wage is greater than 9,951 and new wage is less than 40,525. Return new wage minus new wage times 0.12. So what this says is that the number that we're typing in here has to fall in between this range in order for this thing to be activated. So let's go ahead and test this out. Let's go down to where it says tax calculator, and let's put like $15 an hour. Change the 4 to 15, and you see the number updates and everything. So let's go back to the tax bracket calculator 2021 tab, and let's go down to where it says 22%. Let's go over to the 86,000. Let's copy that. Let's go back to JSBin and go down to the else if statement and make a brand new one. Let's put else if new wage is greater than 40,526 and new wage is less than that pasted number, which is 86,375. Make sure you remove the comma. Return new wage minus new wage times 0.22. And what that says is that once you hit that 40,000 area, you're gonna get taxed 22% of your dollars. I mean, that if you was making $21 an hour, you'll be fine. But the moment you hit 22, I guess you lose a couple thousand. But I'm not the tax guy, so well, let's move on. So what if you're making even more money than that? You know, what if you reached beyond that number and say you just balling out of control? Let's just go ahead and end this. And the way you end it, we said let's go to the else statement. So let's type else return you make too much money. So let's go ahead and summarize what we did. It's going to be pretty simple. We was planning to make a tax calculator, and we actually completed it. This tax calculator is based on how much you make an hour. Say you make 10 hour, 12 hour, 20 hour. You're going to fall into a bracket, and then the government's going to take what they're going to take. And now we have our own version of what to expect once we put our own input inside this function. Hopefully you guys are ready for this next video. We're getting closer to making this video game. Catch you around.